What's going on, guys? This is Illegal Defense, episode 13 for our NFL segment. We're gonna get straight into it with the Ravens Jaguars games. The Ravens came up short, 27-28 at Jacksonville. They kind of made a last minute 2 point conversion. I think Doug Peterson just wanted to, make a statement win and just let it ride and just let what's his face, Trevor Lawrence, go to work. Um, so yeah, I mean, it was tough to watch. Justin Tucker ended up missing I think it was like a 67-yard field goal. I don't know. I think yeah, it was a 67-yard field goal. And Ravens come up short, Jags come out on top. And what are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, you know, when this game was coming down to the wire, the Ravens had to climb back into it, which they did. Um, but yeah, the Jags were just able to kind of match them and score a late touchdown, and they converted that 2 point conversion to win the game. And yeah, props to Doug Peterson for that type of play calling, that aggressive style of his, and Trevor Lawrence being able to execute. Tough loss for the Ravens. I mean, they've had their fair share of things not go their way this season, and this just kind of continues. Luckily for the Ravens, they're a good enough team where they have weeks where they look bad and they're still able to win. This wasn't one of those weeks, so for them it's tough as we get later in the year. These wins become more and more harder to grab. They're going to have to find a way to kind of get the wins necessary to get into the postseason. And there's fewer and fewer of them to be had now. If you're the Jags, solid win. They were at home. They get the win at home. You get to see a little bit of the how the Jags can hurt you with this new Doug Peterson offense. Trevor Lawrence underneath Doug Peterson, kind of spending time in his system. As they grow, they're going to get better.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence is growing with these receivers. We know he played last year, but last year with Urban Meyer, and
There
there
was
was
so
a
much
whole bunch of
scrutiny.
controversy and all this stuff. Now Trevor Lawrence gets to settle in. Way less noise, way quieter in Jacksonville. I mean, last year at Jacksonville, they had almost, I don't want to say it was like New York media
Yeah.
market, but it was a lot more going on. Like, they were always in the news. It's like everybody wanted to, put down the Jaguars and say how bad Urban Meyer was for whatever reason. I don't know
Yeah.
what the fascination was. But now, with Doug Peterson, they're able to kind of win some games. They're able to kind of build quietly and, string together some good football games. They're still not going to win much this year,
Yeah.
but it all takes steps and time, and they're able to keep building on that and building towards the future. I'm sure if they can continue to draft well, develop their players well, they could be a team that in that division is they're always
It's
wide open.
always yeah.
So they'll have a shot. We see every year teams go from last to first and all sorts of and anything in between. So the
Yeah.
Jags are certainly putting themselves in position to contend in that division with a young quarterback in Trevor Lawrence that's only seems to be continuing to get better and grow.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing that the Jags can come away with just in general. I mean, outside of this game, I think Trevor Lawrence played great all year. He's been showing a lot of improvement, and the good thing about Trevor Lawrence is I don't think anybody ever questions his throwing ability, his ability to make some of these passes. I mean, last year we were watching some of these games, and it was like, wow, like this kid's potential is through the roof. Doug Peterson, I think, is the guy to kind of get that out of him. We've seen what he was able to do with the quarterbacks that he had, and what he was able to do with even Nick Foles once Carson Wentz kind of took a back seat. Plus, I mean, he knows what it's like to win a championship, so I think it's great that they're able to win games and kind of rebuild this culture and try to shape things out to work in their favor. So with that being said, we're going to get into our next game, the Chargers versus the Cardinals. Chargers came out on top, kind of in similar fashion. They won 25-24. Staley's gutsy calls paid off. And they were able to knock off the Cardinals. And I think the Cardinals are kind of not. I don't want to say they're in trouble, but the Cardinals definitely have a lot of questions to answer. So.
They're in a very strange spot. You have a guy in Kyler Murray there. You have, your solid receiver Hopkins back. You could kind of make excuses in the beginning of the year. Oh, we didn't have Hopkins. Well, now you have him. Division as a whole is not to the level that we thought it was going to be, but they're still struggling. It seems like there's animosity there between Kyler Murray and the coaching staff. I don't know what really is the issue. We know all the offseason drama with the contract and stuff like that. That seemed like that probably would have been more of a ownership, general manager type of an issue. But it seems maybe Kyler Murray just either doesn't have a good attitude or he's just kind of at odds with a lot of the people in the 49ers building or the Cardinals building. Yeah, I mean, look, it's crazy because the talent is clearly there. I mean, even that game, you see flashes of what Kyler Murray can do.
Yeah.
And, they lost this game really just because Justin Herbert is that great.
Yeah.
When you have a guy like Justin Herbert, this is what he's there for. He can single-handedly win you these close games when, he's able to perform like that. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, I don't know. Kyler Murray hasn't. Have they won since Call of Duty came out? No, right?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, look, he clearly he has an issue with what he's focusing on. I mean, look, the guy's a millionaire. He can do what he wants in his time. But when you have your team counting on you and some things don't go your way, it's not all your fault. But you should be doing the most you can to put your team in better position. I don't know if, people in that building would say he is doing that. I mean, I'm not there every day, but it seems like with the animosity continuing to show, it seems like, maybe that's not the case. And he might be just checked out at this point a little bit. And maybe, either they need to figure out a way to reconcile or maybe get a new coach in there or maybe just move on from Kyler Murray. It's tough. I mean, I don't think you could move on from him with this contract now.
Paid,
yeah. So probably you need to change the coaching staff or you need to reconcile and make things better. But something has to change over there. They do have talent on that team, right? You have a guy like DeAndre Hopkins there that you put with Kyler Murray to be able to score these points. As a defense, they're somewhat inconsistent. They have some great players there. They have a lot of young guys on that team too, that still developing, especially in the linebacker level of their defense. So, it'll be something that interesting to see how they're going to navigate these waters. I don't know what their playoff odds are right now, but they're not too high. And with other teams, like kind of seems to be look, we're getting into that building to the playoffs mode where
teams in the hunt
kind of like teams in the hunt start to step up and it starts to be very physical football, right? And I don't know if the Cardinals are built for that kind of play. They're kind of a little bit more of a finesse team with Kyler at quarterback. And they got to find some way to step it up. I mean, for a team that was in first, just a year ago, they were in first place around this time before they started to decline. Now, I mean, maybe they could do the reverse. They could be bad up until this point and then be great. I don't know, but they got to get on the right page over there. And look, it's a waste of a year for Kyler Murray. It's a waste of a year for DeAndre Hopkins. It's a waste of a year for JJ Watt. I mean, a lot of waste going on in Arizona.
Yeah, it just seems there's so many questions in Arizona, and with Kyler, it's kind of odd because considering obviously we know what he's capable of and his talent level, the drop off is kind of concerning considering it's like he's not bad.
Yeah, and it's like I said, they lost this game because of Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
They actually didn't play a bad game, but it's just when you lose another game, right? Even if maybe you deserve to lose this game, let's if we want to put it that way, okay, they were supposed to lose this game, okay. But now where are the wins coming from? Because you had games that you were supposed to win and you didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is why talk like this gets brought up. It's hard to kind of pile on when you lose to Justin Herbert. I mean, he's Justin Herbert. But Kyler Murray is the type of talent that's in that category, but he's not always playing up to that level. And Justin Herbert doesn't always play up to the level that he played either. And the Chargers have their own problems, but
they were able to overcome it.
They were able to overcome it, and it seems like they're able to navigate these things a lot better than Kyler and the Cardinals are. So, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So, moving on to the next game, we have their actual division rival in the 49ers. They versed the Saints. The 49ers it wasn't a crazy offensive game. 49ers came out on top 13-0. The Saints, again, another odd performance, no touchdowns. Just kind of it's just weird. It's their offense looks stale, and they just couldn't really get things going. 49ers kind of determined this game. Obviously, it's kind of hard. We talk about the 49ers often and how well they run the ball and how well their offenses ran, or actually their defenses ran. I mean, Fred Warner's a missile out there. Nick Bosa is just he has all the capabilities to be a defensive player of the year. So yeah, I mean, this game was kind of odd, and again, the Saints still struggle. So
yeah, this game didn't really surprise me. Look, the 49ers, one of the best defensive teams in the league. The Saints have been able to generate offense, surprisingly, with Andy Dalton, but I never considered them a great offensive team per se this year.
No.
I just feel like they've been able to find a way to do it, and that they're not a bad offensive team. But look, when you go against some of the best defense in the league and you have Andy Dalton as your quarterback,
it's tough to overcome.
Yeah, it's tough to overcome that and expect too much from them. And look, Nick Bosa's back and destroying people left and right. The defense showed up. We know the 49ers are going to control the ball and run the ball and do those type of things, eat up the time of possession. And that's exactly what they did. They won 13-0, but it was a dominant 13-0. No. After the game, everyone's talking about, is this, the best team in the NFC? That's how good they played on defense. And, like I said, I'm not super surprised that the 49ers dominated this game. I expected them to win. I picked them to win. And, the Saints, the Saints, luckily for the Saints, their division isn't that good. They still, get to try to get into the playoffs. Their main competition, the Bucks, I believe they play this upcoming week. So they'll be able to, make some things happen with that if they can. But yeah, look, the 49ers are rolling. They are continuing their ascension that they kind of started last year, where they, made a pretty nice playoff run. It looks like they're going to put themselves in position to be one of those higher seeds in the playoffs this year, and have a chance to really make a statement and see how far they can make it in the postseason. Their problem is just, look, they're a defensive team, and when things go bad, it's going to be hard for them to catch up. Yeah. But we've seen defensive teams win the whole thing before, right? And we know, like we just said a few minutes ago, this is the time of year where the defenses get to step up, make a statement, control the game, win the games for you. So, perfect timing for the 49ers. They're of course going to be looking to finish out strong and really dominate on the defensive side. And look, Jimmy G's been playing good too. Look, he's not putting out a crazy output. It's not like he's super lighting it up, but he's playing good football. He's making the right plays, and he's doing what he needs to do. He's perfect for this team where that's what he needs to do. Yeah. He makes big plays when he needs to. He does enough for them to win. And
team rallies around him too. So that's a huge plus.
It's the opposite of Kyler and the Cardinals, right? Their whole team seems to be one cohesive unit. You don't see too many issues. You don't have guys arguing with each other. They all lifting each other up. They're all happy to win. Yeah. They all believe they deserve it. and they all do their job. They come to work, they do their job, they work hard. If you're the 49ers, you're in great position, and you just look to continue what you're doing.
Nah,